welcome to Two Goals. I'm Maria Laura.
And I'm Katia.
And from another episode of the Leadership Woman Football Series, we're bringing Santiago Gallo Villamizar. Santiago is a Colombian industrial engineer who moved from the corporate world directly to the heart of one of the most recognized women's football brands in the world, the Olympique Lyonnais Group, more specifically at OL Reign, where he's working as an associate general manager. Ready to share his anecdotes, his way from Colombia to the US, and his ongoing personal projects, we salute you, Santiago. Welcome to Two Goals.
Hello. Thank you very much for the invitation for the two of you. And I'm really happy to be here. Hope to have a good time.
Santiago, as Colombians from our generations, we were forced into liking football. I think that we are all aware of that. And there are also many complaints from people who don't like football here. But regarding your story, could you please tell us, is there a specific memory, maybe watching an important game or playing a school tournament, that you would like to share from your first years of liking football?
To start, I don't think I have a specific memory. I just think I was born with a football next to me. My first memories would be just being in school, bringing the ball and like organizing the games at school, and also just always wearing the shirt of my favorite soccer team, the team that I love, which is Santa Fe, every day to school because we didn't have uniform. So that would be me, just always with the ball and trying to play and don't minding about class in the school and just wanting to hang around with the ball.
We hope there's a lot of little boys and maybe girls. We want also girls like Santiago with a football shirt going to school and enjoy it. But also there's a huge curiosity, and we are curious persons, so we would like to know more about it. So a curiosity about you. We don't know if it was already intrinsic in little Santiago, but we know that you're from Colombia. And when we think of you today, we immediately associate you with the USA because of your work. So what makes us curious is that before attending university, you did a year in Mandarin studies. So why China? What it is about its history and culture that you like the most?
China is an amazing country. I had to think a lot about going to China because I had no idea at the beginning what was China like. They don't teach you that much in Colombia. What is China? What it really is. You just see it in movies. So you just grow up thinking that it's what the movies tell you. I unfortunately wasn't able to be a professional soccer player. When I was able to, I had to leave school, but my parents didn't let me. So I decided to finish school, and I had no idea what to study. I honestly didn't want to go to university, didn't know what to study. So my parents just came to me and told me why don't you go to another country and learn a language? And I am a person that doesn't like to do what everyone does. So all of my friends went to the US or all of my friends went to Europe. And I just decided I want to go to China to learn something different, to understand the difference between the cultures and to just challenge those stereotypes of Asian people around the world. When I went there, I just fell in love with Beijing, that city. Just the contrast between the West and the Eastern culture is amazing. If you go to the Forbidden City or the Tiananmen Square, you'll understand how much that means and how meaningful and mindful that culture is. I always like to put the example of the Olympics, of why they started the 8th of August of 2008, which I actually left 8 days before, but it's the 8th because it's like a lucky number for them. It means richness. And they so on, with the animals and with all that stuff, you understand how they are, who they are, and also just how at that point the potential economic growth that there was and that they had and they still have right now. So that's pretty much it. From the China standpoint, I really loved it. I was planning on staying more time, but it was also, I was too young. There was too much party, too much traveling, and I needed to settle down.
Well, Santiago, Katia and I, we had the pleasure to travel to China. We didn't get much knowledge about it, to be honest. We went there for just 5 days or so, but amazing. I think I think there is so many things we need to still learn from them. And especially in football, they have this vast market. And if we want to enter the football industry, we definitely need to try and understand the way they consume football. I think that's really important. So
Totally.
you're very lucky of that. But coming back to your formal education, you are an industrial engineer with an specialization degree in strategic management, and your working path started as a planning assistant and climate change and sustainability services consultant for one of the most important consulting firms in the world, EY. Could you please develop a bit about the skills or minimum skills that these firms demand for those professionals who intend to work with them? And how was it working for the corporate world? Did you miss something working with them?
So I'm gonna start with the second question first. I don't miss anything because I am where I dream to be. I've worked so hard in my life to be in the football world that I just don't miss anything. I think I just was looking for a lifestyle job, and the corporate world doesn't give me a lifestyle job. It just gives me an 8 hour or more work time, and then you're always just looking to leave and to do your own life. With the job that I have now, I just look forward to wake up, come to training, and then I just leave, and everything has to do with that. So I'm that's the first thing. I don't miss anything, and the second are the skills. I think to be at EY, you just have to be really focused, and you just have to be a really professional. And I think that's one of the things that I've learned a lot and that has helped me in the football world is understand how to be a professional person, which includes having values and having those principles that would not let you like go through temptation or just do stuff that you would regret at the end of the day. The other part is just detail. I think detail and communication at EY, just with so many projects that I had. I want to put you an example. I had to go to the Guajira Colombiana, which is like the northern part of our country, to do a project with the Wayus, and it was a social project about an aqueduct that they wanted to build there. But at the same time, I had another project in the Emerald Zone of Colombia, one of the most dangerous, but at the same time, one of the most beautiful. So just understanding the two different objectives of the projects and going through those and through the timelines and all that was really helpful because now today at the Rain, it's just not one player that comes here. It's 30 different projects with 30 different players. And even with the staff and even with the coaching staff and upper management, there's so much going on. That experience at IUI helped me a lot.
Well, actually, we definitely agree that you don't miss right now your former job because in 2016 you moved to the USA to pursue a master's degree in sports management and leadership at Seattle University. Could you please tell us why did you choose this university, this specific degree, and I'm talking, as a Latin America, this is not only Colombian, I think. What was the reaction from your peers? I mean, your family, friends, when you decided to swap your professional path and kind of like go out of the comfort zone of what they were expecting of you to do?
Yeah. It's interesting that question because everyone, including my parents and my whole friend six, expected me to be the president of a bank, the president of like a corporation. And I always told them, I don't want to be that. I just want to go on, be happy in my life and like also impact society. I think through football, you can impact society in a big way, especially in women's football. But I moved to the US because when I was working in sustainability, I just got tired. And I thought, okay, if it's not at this point, I was 26 years, I think, at that point. It's not going to be ever again. I had the support of my family, which took me 4 years of them understanding that I wanted to be like my management part of a team instead of being like the coach. In Colombia, we have those stereotypes that whenever you want to be like in the management and like a coach, you are either corrupt. Like my mother will tell me, I don't want you to be like the Bolillo Gomez. And the Bolillo Gomez was our coach who hit women and just like you see like people that have no principles. So it took me 4 years to understand, and that's where I really thank my sister, because my sister at the point was the communication channel between the two of us, between the three of us. And after that, I just told them, like, I'm just going to go there. I sat down and looked at the ranking of the 20 best master's programs in the world. And I am a nerd. So I did an Excel file with the values, with a curriculum, with what I needed to get into each problem. I chose 4 programs, and then I just decided to go to Seattle U because that program also had a certificate in sustainability in sports, which I ended up loving sustainability. I think sustainability has to be part of everyone's lives, but I just wanted to incorporate that in sports, and that's something I really do a lot at the Rain.
And sustainability, as you said, is something that it has been part of sports, and in this case soccer or football, a lot, but nowadays it's so, we called it a lot, not only through an environment or an industry, but even on the pitch, and especially through at women's football, to have sustainability and at least a sustainable pathway for growth. But you went to Seattle, as you said, and you
Yep.
stayed there. You're still there, right?
I'm still here, yeah.
So you started back then in a club, and it's the same that you are today, but we will talk about it later. But you started working for Rain FC in 2017. And from that date until January 2020, you performed in 3 different positions inside the club. You were operations coordinator, partner services manager, and the first team administrator, and community involvement manager. So this is a lot. So taking, yeah, I mean, for 3 years. So taking,
it's true.
Yeah, so taking in consideration the experiences in these roles we mentioned before, can you tell us what were your main duties while performing them?
Yeah. I'm missing one duty there, but I don't put it there because it was just one day thing that I did. And that was what opened me the door to work at the Rain. It was my first role at the Rain was stretcher crew. So it was the people that go inside and pick up the players when they're injured, which never happens in women's soccer. Like in the 4 seasons I've been here, I've only seen that twice. So after I had that happening, I went to a staff member and they hired me as an operations coordinator. My role as an operations coordinator was to oversee all the match day, all the sponsorship activations, all the marketing activations at the games. It was pretty much all the game day and the experience of the fans. And after that, we had the transition to Tacoma. So when we started, I was in Seattle. We played in Memorial Stadium next to the Space Needle. We had to leave Seattle. And when we moved to Seattle, the operations of the stadium was moved into a partnership with a minor league baseball team. And I had to move to a partnership services manager. And that was pretty much just complying and giving the best experience to the sponsorships, which I worked with Microsoft, Boeing, and already other cool brands. It was just making sure that the contract was complied by our side and that they were given whatever they needed in order to just help them and give the experience and enhance the marketing and branding of both brands. And then one day, our team admin at the club resigned, and they needed someone that had spent a lot of time at the team that the players already knew and that trust. So they asked me if I wanted to be part of that. And I said, yes, I think that was the role I was always looking forward to because I always liked the operations, but with the players and like the competence part. So I was there. And my main duties was traveling with the team, being the liaison with the referees, with the visiting team when it was a home game, with the league when we visited. I was PR and marketing when we visited other places, and being just there for the players and give them the best experience that I could give them. If it was with their cars, with their apartments, with the training field, with whatever I could just make them just feel that they just needed to perform instead of worrying about something else. So that was pretty much what I did. Then in March of 2019, my visa expired, and because of COVID, I had to leave the Rain. The OL Rain, we were already OL Rain at that point. It was like our second month. And I went back to Colombia. I didn't have a job. And in November, the owner called me again and he asked me if I wanted to be the associate general manager. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Let's focus on that. Could you please, and this is crucial for us, I think in Colombia, we still we lack this big hierarchy, like this big organizations in a way inside our clubs. So could you please tell us a bit about what does an associate general manager do? I mean, what
Yeah,
kind of a specific task do you do?
yeah, totally. So as an associate GM, I oversee everything that happens in the locker room. So I have two people that help me, the equipment manager. The equipment manager here in the US is a really important position inside the organization. And I have to say her name because she is awesome. It's Isabela Pino. She makes sure that the players have their gear, that she manages the budget of the team, and I oversee what she does there. She also does what we're supposed to do on training field, like all that equipment that has to go there and for traveling. And on the other side, I oversee the team admin, which was my former position, and which I already told you what I did before. And then I also oversee the assistant to the head coach, because lately we've figured out that we've been having difficulties with communication because our coach is French, and we're starting to learn French, but I have English, Spanish, and Mandarin, and people around the organization don't have the French. Like, we're in that transition of having everybody speak French. Her name is Faustine. She does also an excellent job on the communication part. So I oversee that, but I also oversee what players do on a daily basis. So, and then on my own tasks, I am the liaison between ownership and the team. So I work with the president and minor owner, Bill, just to make sure that players arrive, have their visas. Like, we select the best players to come here, that when they arrive, all the other pieces of the organization are together so they have the best experience. I also look into our training facility and into projects to make the training facility better, to make our locker room better. And I also, I'm starting to shifting into more, like, I would say political, but like a face of the organization events, just like, for example, in 2 days, I'm going to be in a panel about the LGBTQ Pride month in Seattle with the other teams and stuff like that. So it's a job where I do a lot of operational stuff, but at the same time, I do a lot of strategic stuff to position the team and the brand where it's supposed to be, and also to give the players and make a strategic plan to make our performance in the field the best as we can, so we can achieve championships.
So this is the whole package that we want in women's football all over the world. So let's hope that the other clubs also have general managers like you.
Thank you.
This would be a great news, at least. And now you already touched upon some points over there, because of course you oversee everything that will be inside of the pitch, locker room, but you also work outside of it towards that. And let's talk about business, soccer business in USA. And women's soccer there is seen as more than a game. It's an entertainment, a spectacle. It's another industry completely. And we all have this perception, but it's difficult sometimes for some of us to understand it because we don't live it. And if we look at the other women's football context, it seems something which is far away from their reality. And we can take Europe or South America as example, because we are here representing the continent. And these continents are more connected with historical football club models, if we can use these words. And in USA, in sports overall, it's not only a soccer thing. The match day has a big entertainment character involved. So can you please describe to us what a match day looks like in OL Reign specifically, from a fan and also a general manager perspective? How is the match day routine for a fan? So what the club offers as entertainment besides the game, and a match day routine for you. What are your duties during a match day? So can you please tell us how is it overall?
Yeah. I'm going to start with the fan part. And I think it's just giving you a little bit of how we focus our marketing efforts and our team identity, because that's one of the biggest things we've been shifting lately, because there's so much diversity in our team. There's so much people that go beyond the sport and try to be examples to society, that we decided that our marketing efforts would focus on making a better world instead of just selling all the tickets that we could. Which, at the end of the day, if we make a better world, I think that's reflected on the profit and on the revenue we generate, and that also reflects on the people who come to the stadium and watch us play. And when a person that so to start, I think we have different marketing segments that we have as fans, but we focus solely on women, on families, heterosexual and gay families. We don't limit that to binary families. We just want families to come here. We don't judge what has to be a family. And at the same time, we focus on people from the LGBTQ plus community. Those are our bigger supporters, and those are the people that we perform to the most. So based on that, we create pride matches. Like in June 26th, we're just gonna be playing our pride match. We also create different themes based on the month that we have, and also we create different little initiatives with our sponsors around the stadium, around our concourse. So people, as you say, don't only go watch a game, but also have an experience during the game where they see that added value outside the pitch. And finally, we also give a lot of freedoms, and that's something we really like as a team. We let our fans put whatever outside messages they want to put, even they let staff. So for example, in my own case, I've been putting a flag that says SOS with a Colombian flag because I don't agree with what's happening in my country. And there's no censoring or there's no banning of any type of message that you want to put. You're free. And when you're free, I think people can be the best people that they want to be, and our fans see that as a safe space for them to be who they want to be and be really authentic. And that's why they go to games. And from my own perspective and my own roles, my job first is to oversee the team. I focus on game day, just on the team, that everything goes smooth for our players, that they just go out, perform, win, lose, or tie. We prefer to win, and just play their game, play their game. And whatever happens, like with a storm, I have to be there in the middle. Like if we have to delay the game, if one of our players get injured, I also have to be there. Or just even I'm not in the bench, but I'm somewhere else. I just see them perform and see how they're doing, and then be able to work together to get that, raise the energy or do what we have to do to perform better in the future.
Santiago, we do actually have another question regarding this, speaking up for yourself as a fan and also as a footballer, but I will leave this to Katia. I will keep the questions regarding business. And there was a huge deal done in 2019 when the OL Group acquired Reign FC, and now the club as we know it is called OL Reign. Can you please tell us from an internal employee perspective, if there are some things that change, how this happened? I mean, can you please share like an overall perspective of this important deal done?
Yeah, totally. That happened, and I'm going to quote our owner Bill in the 2019 World Cup. He has told me that he went there and he just met with Jean-Michel Aulas, and they closed the deal. So then Leon came, looked, negotiated, and then we just rebranded. We became OL Reign, and a lot has changed just from the sport side. You can see that we're actually tomorrow, Sarah Bouadi and Jennifer Marojana are going to arrive because they've been loaned, and next week Eugenie Lesomer is going to arrive. So we're going to have a really, really good team, plus the American legends that we have, Rose Lavelle and Megan Rapinoe. So from that side, I see more investment. There's a lot to do. We're in a big transition, and those transitions, when a club buys the other one, take a while. I cannot say that they put a lot of money and everything changed. What I can say is that they have been investing and things are starting to change. We see more resources. We see more people in the staff helping. When I started at the club, it was just a team admin and a GM. Now we have like an assistant to the coach. The coach has more people. We have more people. We have more opportunities to do our jobs and to improve the club. And at the same time, just looking forward to the future. Just make Seattle our and Tacoma our base, and grow our fan base, and looking into an own stadium and an own training facility where we can just perform and give our players what they really deserve.
We are also looking to the future, and actually, when in 2020, beginning of 2020, me and Maria, we went to Lyon, and they presented us the strategy, so a bit of the strategy, and at least I thought, and I think Maria too, that every other club in NWSL were screwed after this deal being done.
I know.
Because we knew that something big would come up, and right now, from a women's football fan perspective, when we hear rumors about an Olympique Lyonnais player leaving the club, the probability of this player going to OL Reign is huge. So we already know that it will increase at least the talent in USA, and we are hoping to see even more. And of course, when you join forces, and in a women's football club, that it's treated like a normal club, that is what is happening in Lyon and in OL Reign, we know that something big will happen. And also adding to that, you have big names, and big names in women's football, in football overall, but right now we're being seen in women's football, brings responsibility also. And if there's something that we've been seeing and witnessing in the last few years, is that women's football is a platform for change. And we've been seeing it more clearly and with consistency in the USA, probably because the country is bigger and you have more, they've won a lot, so they can speak up and ask for more, especially through players who speak out their minds and spread awareness of the problems. And of course, here we're talking about the players' actions, but actually this is also related to the clubs, as they are represented by the players, and the players are an asset of the club. And in my opinion, they are the biggest asset. So if we look at OL Reign, we have great examples of role models. You already mentioned some of them. They speak and fight for change, as is the case of Megan Rapinoe, Jess Fishlock, who was recently in England, and the same with Rose Lavelle and others. And this is something which, for example, in men's football cannot be or can be not very well accepted by some clubs. On the contrary, women's football clubs are more keen to be okay with the players' positions and support them through their way. So you already told us some of the marketing perspective you have over there and kind of covers this part. But actually, what is the OL Reign position regarding the players' social and personal activity? Does the club back their positions?
Yes, 100%. Our club thinks, as you said, that the players are the biggest asset that we have, and we just want to take advantage on a transparent way on what they do, because we believe on everything that Pino does, everything like our captain Lou Barnes does on environmental sustainability, and everything Jess Fishlock does, because we think we're part of it, because we think that we can also help them as athletes and professional players impact more through our club and through their own platform. So we back them 100%. So I'm going to put you an example we did this year. We are going out every game with a shirt that is called the Big Anti-Racist Energy. And when we started that initiative, it's for our warm-ups. When we started our initiative, we sat down and it was just a Black Lives Matter initiative. But we sat down and we looked, there's so much diversity, there's so much Asian women, Asian hate in the US, there's so much limitations for immigrants to come to this country, and there's so much also discrimination against LGBTQ plus people in this country, that we need to focus on that at all. So we ended up putting hashtags in the back with those for those titles. So like Stop Asian Hate, we put a Fight for Immigrant Rights, we put Protect Transgender rights and stuff like that, and as well as Black Lives Matter, because we all of those hashtags are reflected in our locker room. We have Quinn in our locker room, and them is a transgender athlete. We have Shirley Cruz, we have Angelina, who are Brazilian and Costa Rican and are immigrants to this country. We have a Momiki. She's from Japan. She's an Asian player, so she's also part of that Asian hate that she has suffered being in the country. And then we have also Black players like Ciara King, who really, really, really uses her platform in an excellent way just to stop racism. So we just back them. We talk to them. I make sure I talk to them. I'm part of the community, like council of the club. There's a leadership group, and we sit down and look into initiative with our marketing team, because we also need to promote this initiative. Sometimes when we don't tell people what we do, then it gets forgotten. So part of it is just us backing them on whatever they want to do, and make them feel like that they're doing and being their best personal self.
Just said something that for me is really, really important, that the word marketing, you said a lot with that, because sometimes when we talk about marketing, people think, oh, you're promoting yourself, you're making it a business. But actually, you need this power. You need to have a marketing plan to activate the other initiatives that you have. Because if you don't do it, no one will see it. I mean, we're talking about our rain, everybody will see it. But if you're talking about other clubs, it's more difficult. So we need to balance both things. And that's why we need to understand in other parts of the world that this is a business and needs both parts. And it's a way, as you said before, and now we're sure of that you're achieving one of your goals, that is making a world a better place. So with everything that you said, we are sure of that. I don't know if Maria wants to.
Yeah, I wanted to add something. Sorry, Santiago, I interrupt you, but just that's the thing that is changing, which is moving from corporate social responsibility to corporate social justice, which is we need the money to sustain these great initiatives. At the end of the day, we run a business and it needs to be successful in order to feel sustained to support these values that you want as a company. So I think that's the main key. Like try to forget all these negative thoughts about marketing being support for the business, but actually seeing it as a tool for, like overcoming problems and global challenges in a way.
Yeah. I think what you say is essential, and we want to be one of those case of studies where you are able to make a profit, making the world better, and don't giving up on other values just because that's what historically has been happening lately. And I just say that because I see Colombian, Laura, you can agree with me or not, but in our country, how they manage stuff is just based on other values and other things that at the end of the day don't let people like you and me perform the way we want to do, and we just get a lot of limitations.
Yeah, definitely. I won't disagree on that. And it's just the problem of, we either like companies and we are unequal, and it's like there are two really polarized sides. We either like free market or we just want everything for granted, for free. So we kind of we're not going to talk about Colombian politics. This is for a completely different podcast right now. But I think that's the main issue, is just understand business and how business can contribute to social impact. I think that's it.
Yep, totally.
And now I will shift the conversation back to you, but I will talk about business. Something that is new at women's football now. It's turning into a business, and actually that is a passion. It's a passion that we share. I can say proudly. So, but I'm too young to have the same collection as you have. So, you share this passion with all of us that we want to follow. So you have an Instagram page called Football Temple SDK. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I think
yeah, you're saying it right.
so where you display your collection of football jerseys. So we want to know, where does this passion comes from? And if you can have, in your opinion, looking now for example, to this NWSL season with a great range of different and unique football shirts, do you think this is a market which will be growing in the women's football industry? Would you be collecting them as well?
So to start with the last part, I am not going to collect NWSL shirts, as I won't collect like any other Colombian soccer club because I already gave my heart and my soul to the rain. So I'm not gonna get any other jersey of NWSL. I'm going to get jerseys of women national teams, or right now I'm focusing on getting like the Barcelona jersey, but the Barcelona women's team, or the like the women's team sites of the clubs, because I want to enhance that more in my collection. But unfortunately, like I would never get a Portland Thorns jersey just because they're our biggest rivals. I will never get a Millonarios jersey because they're my biggest rivals. So that's part of the passion. But everything started when I was a little kid, and my parents one time went to Europe. They brought me 12 jerseys, and I started putting those up every day in school. And then I had two friends that we lived in China with. They saw my collection. Until that point, I had like 150 soccer jerseys, which 40 are Santa Fe and like 20 are the Rain. So I have collected the Rain jerseys in the start, and I also have my own. But I have like 150, and I'm starting to post them. All of them are in Colombia right now because if I travel with 150, I have to pay a lot in the airplane to be able to bring all those. And now with my friends, we figured out that there's like a business opportunity there. We found that it's similar to like the alcoholic beverages market, where when you, for example, have wine or whiskey, the like I'm gonna put the example with the soccer jersey. I buy the Liverpool soccer jersey of this year. Next year it's gonna be cheaper, and in the next 5 years it's going to be cheaper. But when people start getting nostalgic about what Liverpool did, and in 10 years it's gonna start getting expensive, and the curve goes up exponentially. And I put this example because I was looking into I think the 1986 jersey of Liverpool, and it costed £2,000. And I have the Zidane 1998 jersey, and I put it one time in the market, and they were willing to pay like $2,000, which still is not enough for me. But see what I mean? There's a big opportunity with jerseys that you may not want to, you might be willing to sell. And that's what my friends want to do, just use my collection for the marketing, and they are buying a tons of shirts to start promoting in a couple of years.
And let me tell you something, there is another opportunity. I mean, and I'm speaking from myself as a consumer, but I've noticed this in Colombia. They're trying to recreate really important moments in football, yeah, but using casual clothes, like really streetwear, t-shirts or shirts, and that you can wear every day. I think that's also kind of cool, and I've noticed that that's something that is growing, and is kind of related at the same time to the change related to pandemic, that we're now all wearing more casual clothes at our places and on the streets. So I think that's also really cool.
Did you just imagine in 10 years how much a Megan Rapinoe oval jersey signed by her is going to cost? I'm going to be rich.
Please send two, one to Switzerland and one to Colombia.
Yes. No, but actually, just to add, you can see a lot of stores out there, online stores already with this market, with this business, and they buy shirts to other people, and they resell these shirts. And it is what you said. For you to buy one, you need to pay 300, 400, 500. And there are crazy people. They are buying it. I will not mention myself because right now I didn't buy it. But we never know. One day, if they sell a Benfica shirt that is from years ago, probably I will do it. And this is what is.
Well, imagine if you find out Eusebio shirt, like you would give your whole fortune for that, right?
Please don't tell more because I will buy it. actually something that is out there. But it's something also, just to finish, that a lot of collectors, some of them are giving the shirts, right? They are selling it, but others, they don't even accept a penny for it. And this is what I love
Totally,
the most.
totally.
So
Yeah, there's a couple of those that, or I would say, like collection that I have by now is one that I would never give out. I remember when I went to the stadium and Santa Fe was playing and I had like a 1999 jersey and they offered me like $1,000,000 for one jersey, which $1,000,000 is $300-400, but in Colombia it's a lot. And I just said, no, there's no way I'm going to give you this for that.
I would do the same.
So before we're closing today's conversation, I will start a crowdfunding page for Eusebius' shirt. I mean, I want to give that to Katia as a birthday present. No, just kidding. But no, definitely, I think we're all crazy in a way. I mean, we tend to overestimate. I mean, if you, for example, tell me, oh, I wouldn't give away the Eusebius, like the Santa Fe shirt. But maybe in my case, and Katia knows this, I am a Bucaramanga fan, but for example, I love the Colombian national team. And for me, that's kind of like the same. If I have the chance of buying the, I don't know, the 1990 shirt, the red one, I really want that, like an original one, I will definitely buy it for sure.
Yeah, I would buy the pretty ones. I'm not as big fan of the Colombian national team because I prefer Santa Fe, but I would definitely get that one because it's so pretty.
Yeah, that's so. I'm waiting it for it to be the B uniform for sure.
Yeah,
for this year. But yeah, just unfortunately Santiago, and we will definitely buy a beer. I mean, we can keep this conversation outside, but we're closing this interview with a last question, and it's related to a really personal project from your side, which is called Honeyball Humans Project. Could you please develop a bit about it and how this did started?
yeah. That's a good question because so we're right now like on a little stop with Honeyball because of the job that me and my other two partners, it's two other women. Their names are Laura Torres and Daniela Sierra. We have so much going on, but the idea comes from the fact that when I went back to Colombia after the pandemic, I realized how much this world needs a woman leadership or not. That like dominant masculine white guy energy, living in the US and having to prove myself 25 times just to be as a white man helped me, but also understanding how much at the reign we have to do more and our players have to do more to be treated as equal, and how like interesting and how beneficial this leadership is to make the world a better place. So I sat down with Laura. I brought like the sport part of it, and she brought like the community part of it. She did a master's in conflict, like solving conflicts in, I think, in Austria. And he brought that community side here and wanted to just highlight those athletes and their lives in Colombia and how they are, what they have to do to be able to be who they are. So we started interviewing professional or people that want to be athletes. All have to be women because we want to give them also a platform. We are also tired that all what you see in the traditional media in Colombia, because I'm going to put that example, is just Falcao, James, and the Colombian men's national team. You never see in a big basis what happens with like the synchronized swimming Olympic duo, or you don't see like what happens with the beach volleyball duo that is trying to qualify to the Olympics. So we wanted to highlight also that and show people that there's a lot of women athletes that are examples for kids, girls and boys, and that should be highlighted by some in some way. So I took advantage of me knowing a couple of them and started interviewing them.
Fantastic, Santiago, and we hope you reactivate again the this other project that you have, because it's really important. But unfortunately, we finished this conversation. We hope that one day we can reactivate the conversation again when OL Reign is champion. Let's hope so.
Yeah. Maybe next year when we go to Lyon and play Lyon there.
Yeah. So.
And then when I go to Colombia as well.
Exactly. Let's go.
You know, my dream is that the Orange goes and does preseason in Colombia and plays against Santa Fe. Oh,
let's do that. Let's do that.
Maria is already putting in contact over there. No, but we hope that this happens not only to fulfill your dream, but also because it will be a great interaction between cultures and different ways of in soccer. And this is very, very important to have this the contact, not only for example in USA, for them to have the perception what is happening in Colombia and vice versa. Contact with the different environment is very important. So we hope that this happens, and we will be there. So, Santiago, thank you for accepting our invitation and for sharing your pathway from Colombia to the USA with us. And we wish you all the best with all your projects. And we hope to see OL Reign being successful in the future, on and off the pitch. As we know that fuera de la cancha is one of the places where you can be part of the change. And at OL Reign, we can see you have a platform to do it. And you're part of the club, so you'll be part of it for sure. We also
Thank you very much.
We also hope to see your shirt collection growing, especially with women's team jerseys. So we will push
totally
to buy it. So thank you.
I just got the Iceland women's national team jersey, so that's one more there.
With the new crest, this is also.
No,
I love the jersey, but I love the jersey.
Perfect. So we want you to grow the collection, and we will be growing ours. At least I will be influencing Maria to buy.
Perfect.
So thank you, and to our audience, you can listen to all our other episodes on the podcast platforms out there, and make sure you follow us on social media with the name 2 Goals Podcast. You can also listen to us on YouTube. Thank you and take care.
Bye. Thank you very much.